You ever wonder why we're in such a hurry to score a nuke deal with a country that everyone else seems to hate? Because when it comes to Iran, think about it. Well, Israel hates them. The Saudis are literally at war in Yemen with them. And virtually every Muslim country wants nothing to do with them. So again, why the heck are we even talking to them? To Ben Stein, who also says, just stop. Ben, but here we are. And I'm wondering, it's one thing if the whole Arab world were pushing us to do this, but they're not. Quite the opposite.
Yeah, I don't understand all of it, but it has to do with strength. I mean, the Iranians are able to put men and arms in the field to fight against ISIS, or as Mr. Obama keeps calling it, ISIL. I don't know how he does that. So we want to be on his side there. But then in Yemen, they're fighting against our dear friends, the Saudi Arabians. Do you know that I have recently read that Iran is opening new fields of sedition and rebellion in South America? This is a very, very dangerous place, and we are cozying up to them. Why we're doing it exactly, I don't know. But Mr. Obama has reasons in his head which I guess are beyond my ability to understand.
Well, then it's not worth understanding if you can't understand it. So, Ben, the thing that I started looking at is these polls. One that was out today that said most Americans would like to see a deal with Iran achieved that's credible and real. The problem is the same majority says any deal we reach with Iran won't be credible or real. In other words, they're very doubtful of the deal that they want. What do you make of that?
Well, look, here's the country that bombed the Marine barracks in Beirut. This is a country that has led to terrorism all over the Middle East. We listed for decades as the #1 state sponsor of terror. They've broken every agreement we've ever made with them. They're lying right now about everything having to do with their nuclear program. We know it. We've said it over and over again. Everybody knows it. Why are we dealing with a country which we know to be lying? Neville Chamberlain made a deal with Hitler. Even Hitler did not have a track record as bad as the Ayatollahs do in terms of telling the truth.
You know, I bet you Netanyahu wasn't commenting on the progress of these talks. He is still convinced, though I think in an interview he did in Israel today, that in another year, Iran is going to have a bomb. What did you make of that?
Well, if Iran has a bomb, then it's a terrible thing. Look, just as the negotiations were reaching a climactic point, the supreme leader of Iran is saying death to Israel and death to the United States of America. This is the guy we're negotiating with, and he's shouting to a crowd, death to the United States of America. What on earth are we doing negotiating with a person who is trying to get a nuclear bomb and is shouting death to the United States of America? What's going on here? Even Khrushchev, when we were dealing with him, did not say death to the United States of America. He said we will bury you in terms of the capitalist system versus the communist system. Nobody's ever said death to the United States of America. Even Mao Zedong didn't say it. This guy's saying it. We're negotiating with him. We're giving him basically carte blanche to develop a nuclear weapon. What on earth is going on?
You know what I wonder about, too, Ben? Whatever the markets do when a deal is examined, I mean, normally the short-lived response is they go up, just like when Greece staves off a bankruptcy and cobbles together a deal to keep the billhounds away. The markets generally like that. But then they reassess, as they have been lately, and say, well, you know, they're still in deep doo-doo. And I'm wondering if the same would apply to whatever we cobble together, if we cobble together something with Iran, that people are relieved to see something, and then they look at the fine print and realize not much.
Well, there's nothing more meaningless than 1 or 2 days' action on the stock market, and there's nothing more meaningless and silly for us to follow than those meetings in terms of the future of the United States. Look, we're not concerned about a few days or a few weeks' movements on the stock market. We're concerned about the freedom of mankind. This is a country which wants to help enslave as much of mankind as it can. It's the most subversive force since the end of the Soviet Union, maybe even more subversive, and we are trying to reach an agreement with them as if we trusted them, as if we were trying to reach an agreement with Great Britain or France or someone we can trust. There's something deeply, deeply wrong here.
What do you think is driving the president? I mean, the whole world sees and says, not as articulately or eloquently as you just did, what you outlined. And I'm just wondering, why is he hell-bent on doing something apparently by himself?
There's something deeply psychiatric going on here. I wouldn't like to say what it was. I think other people have said it has to do with some kind of deep-seated wish to appease his father, whom he only met once in his life. I don't know what's going on, but it's something psychiatric rather than diplomatic. And as for Kerry, he is the absolutely most incompetent Secretary of State there's ever been, so I wouldn't trust him as far as I could throw him. The fact that every important person in the world in the field of diplomacy says these guys are not to be trusted, and yet Mr. Obama is entrusting the whole future of Israel and the whole future of the Middle East and eventually our whole future to them. There's something very, very wrong with this man's head.
Okay. Ben Stein, always good having you on, my friend. Ben Stein.
Thank you, sir.
Writer, actor, just a genius. The guy's a genius. Meanwhile,